Wondered what the difference was between grass and grain-fed beef and which might be more beneficial for your health? Well, today I'm going to dive into why we recommend our members eat grass-fed beef. Hi, I'm Matty from The Chief Life. Thank you for joining us for today's video. Please do hit subscribe so you can see our ongoing content. And if you like this one, give us a little thumbs up and share it with your friends. So grain-fed versus grass-fed, which is better? Studies have shown that the nutrients we gain from eating cattle varies based on their diet as to whether they're grass-fed or a grain-fed beef. Why I bring that up is because some of the studies I'm touching on today are from America and some are from Australia. So we do need to make that differentiation between the two. A big part of it comes down to the fact that the grain-fed beef in America is fed corn and soy, and the grain-fed beef in Australia is fed barley, wheat, and rye. Grass-fed cattle is fed edible plants from pastures. Grain-fed beef, no matter where it's raised, is typically fed a supplement of drugs such as antibiotics and growth hormone to make the cattle bigger for sale. 97% of cattle within Australia is raised on open pastures or open paddocks, which is great for these cows. What happens is in the last 60 days to 90 days, they're fed solely grain to fatten them up for the kill, but this also qualifies them to be the grain-fed label that they need to be when it hits the supermarkets. A lot of American beef, whether it's grass-fed or grain-fed, is raised in feedlots. So getting to the nitty-gritties. Grass-fed beef is leaner than grain-fed beef and has higher amounts of good fats such as omega-3. When consumed by humans, grass-fed cattle proved to have higher amounts of essential fats than what the grain-fed beef did. In fact, the studies show that the benefits go beyond the good fats. Grass-fed beef contains considerably more amounts of vitamins and minerals such as beta-carotene and vitamin E. Plants naturally produce their own powerful antioxidants to save them from things such as UV rays, disease, and of course, to keep them from aging too quickly. When cows eat these plants, they gain all of these nutrients from the plants and store them in or accumulate them in their own fat cells. We then eat the cattle and we get the benefits of those nutrients. You are what you eat, and this applies to cattle too. This is particularly evident when we look at the fatty acid composition of the cows. Grass-fed beef contains less fat than grain-fed beef, gram for gram, which means calorically grass-fed beef is a lighter load than what the grain-fed beef is. Grain and grass-fed beef contain similar amounts of omega-6. It differs quite drastically when we look at the omega-3s though, where the grass-fed beef has up to 5 times the amount of omega-3s than the grain-fed beef does. Grass-fed beef also has 2 times the amount of CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, than grain-fed beef does. CLA is associated with a host of incredible health benefits, things such as fat loss, better heart health, less heart disease, lowering blood pressure, and decreasing cancer risks. Now, beef, whether it's grass-fed or grain-fed, is packed full of vitamin B12, B6, and B3s. It's also rich in highly bioavailable iron, selenium, and zinc. In fact, meat contains almost every nutrient the human body needs, which is why the carnivore diet has become so popular recently. Beef is a high quality protein and it contains nutrients such as carnosine and creatine, which are both really good for your muscles and your brain health. Grass-fed beef is, however, higher in vitamin A, vitamin E, and richer in antioxidants. Now, when it comes to grain-fed cattle, there is such things as toxins that get spread over these grains. We then eat the cattle that have these toxin-filled fat cells, and we're then getting that toxin as well. So some of the toxins we might find and be harmed by when eating grain-fed beef comes down to glyphosate, which is the toxin they spray. It's also called Roundup. Toxin they spray over grains to kill them so they can harvest them. The next one is atrazine, which has been seen to cause infertility in humans as well as cattle, so it's not the best product to be using around livestock in general. Lastly, it comes down to zearalenone, which is a mold toxin. So this would be based on where the grains are stored and how long they're stored for before the cattle is eating that product, as to whether it's going to affect us that much or not. So as a recap, grass-fed beef has less total fat, has 5 times the amount of heart-healthy omega-3s, has double the amount of CLA, which once again has an association to many, many health benefits, such as lowering heart disease, the risk of cancer, fat loss, decreasing blood pressure. It has more antioxidants and is packed full of vitamins and minerals. And grass-fed beef enjoy a more natural diet as well as a more natural lifestyle, living their lives out on the pastures. So there you have it. That is some of the reasons why we strongly recommend that our members utilize grass-fed beef over grain-fed beef. Even though grass-fed beef might be a little bit more expensive when it comes to the checkout, it's definitely the more beneficial route when it comes to your health. We are what we eat, and we are what the cattle eat as well. So we do need to make sure that we are looking out for the grass-fed, grass-finished, free-range cattle where possible. Guys, that is it from me today. Thank you very much for joining us. If you did enjoy this video, once again, please do give us a little thumbs up. If you would like some more help around your nutrition, please head across to www.thechieflife.com and book in for your free nutrition consult.